Hi, everyone. It's me, Dr. Stacy Betancourt, with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy. So, today I'm talking about cleaning out your mental outlook. And that sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? Well, just walk with me on this one, okay? So, yesterday I broke down and decided I was going to wash all the floors in our house, and we have nothing but some form of floors rather than carpet. So, in order to do that, it's a pretty long process. I have to vacuum every room and then I have to break out mop and bucket. So, basically, I had 3 hours to think inside my head, 3 hours. And I started thinking about the process of actually physically cleaning the floors. And I thought about how that applies to cleaning out our lives. So, when we have a negative outlook, a mental outlook, it really does pile up like the dust bunnies that pile up on my floors. And I started to think about what can happen when we let it go too long. Well, then it becomes a bigger job to sort it all out, right? So I thought about what I do when I am finding myself getting more and more under pressure, more and more in a situation where I am becoming more and more negative. And it takes a very conscious effort to get myself out of that mindset. For example, there are several things that I do. I do like bullet journaling, which I've talked about in the past. I will go for a run. Sometimes it just builds up that I'm like, out I go, and I go for a run. I will sit and reflect and take a piece and just kind of break it away and break it apart until it's not such a big deal. That's part of what coaching is. For those of you that are curious, it's part of what I do as a life coach. But it's also kind of cleaning out critical people from my life. Because when you have a lot of critical people in your life, you began to think critical in a negative way. So it's learning how to get those people out of your life, and most especially negative self-doubt. And that leads to that mental outlook that is very negative within your thought process. So for some of us, it will take more than just a complete cleaning. If anything, for some of us, it may seem trivial, but it is truly damaging. A negative self outlook can be very damaging to yourself. And the idea of that is that your life vision, and it leaves you caught in what I will call the wash and repeat. And it's like, the shampoo bottle, you shampoo, you wash your hair, you rinse, and then you repeat. Well, there are some of us that are going through life where literally it's the same thing every day. And you get home from, you wake up in the morning, you go through your routine, you go to work, you come home, you go through your come home routine, and you go to bed. And then you wake up and it's the same thing all over again. Well, I've been catching myself in that same kind of mindset. And it's an aspect of my life that I'm not happy with. And I know that in time, that aspect of my life is going to go away. But right now, it's kind of hard because I have no choice. And sometimes we're all in that. We have no choice. Yes, we would love to just walk away from whatever it is that's bogging us down. But adulting tells us otherwise. And that's kind of where I'm at in one aspect of my life. So it takes time, and learning to process each day can be difficult because of what energy it's going to take to get there. So I have to keep things in perspective. I am focused on the end result. And this is what I'm going to suggest to you. Keep the end result in mind. Then each day, work on a little aspect of what will help you on the greater good. So for me, I'm taking the bigger picture. I see my end in view. I know what I want in the end. So every day, rather than looking at the gigantic picture, which is going to push me down into a mountain of stress, I'm going to take one aspect and I'm going to do what I need to do in a proactive manner in order for me to move forward into the end result. Do you see where I'm getting at? If you look at the entire picture, it's a journey. And this journey for me is very big. So in order for me to handle this journey in a manageable way, yes, I'm keeping the end result, that light at the end of the tunnel. I'm keeping that in my forefront. But instead of looking at the, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever to get there, I'm taking one step forward positively every day in order to make the end result happen. So it sounds silly, but when I compare this to cleaning my floors, I took one room at a time rather than looking at the whole house. And it's not a humongous house, it's a decent house. But if I looked at, oh my God, I got to wash all these floors and I have to vacuum first and then I have to empty the bucket countless times, that's a lot of work. And I can talk myself out of that job. Let me tell you, I can talk myself out of it. The same will apply what I did with the marathon. You know, you're running a marathon, and yes, I'm still talking about it, but I'm running a marathon. And when I start mile 1, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got 26.2 of these to go. And then before you know it, you've only 1 mile left, and then a half mile. And before you know it, you're crossing the finish line. And isn't that the beauty in life, is that you are doing what you need to do in order to achieve with the end in mind. Know what you want, and then every day do just a little bit to get you there. And before you know it, you will have the end result you were looking for. And isn't that worth it? So, lot to unpack. Cleaning your mental aspect is as important as cleaning those floors. And the end result, I have very nicely clean floors. In my life aspect, I am one step closer to seeing the end result that I have in mind for myself. And isn't that worth it? So if you need help processing that kind of stuff and learning how to put things into perspective, let me know. I would be so happy to help you. If you have any comments or any questions or anything at all, drop them down below in the comments, or feel free to email me through my website. I would love to help you. So in the meantime, think about what you're working toward and take each step every day to make that happen. So with that in mind, I wish you all a great week. Remember to be kind to each other, even when you are feeling so bogged down. Be kind to each other, because no one knows what someone else is going through. Nobody does. So be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. You can't be good for anyone else unless you're good to yourself. Take care of yourself. I will see you next week with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy. This is Dr. Stacy Betancourt, wishing you all the best on your journey. Take care and have a beautiful week.